You know, Shiren eats an awful lot of meat, but he never gets thirsty. Just another mystery in episode 33 of Shiren the Wanderer. Last episode, I began attempt 2 in the Kitchen God's Cave and discussed the third quality of good monster design. This episode, I will continue on, hopefully beating my old record, and go over the fourth and final quality of monster design. Ghost radishes, I hate you so much. I'm gonna make a salad out of you. Wait a second. When I kill a ghost radish, it makes meat? A ghost radish is a plant. That is just another mystery. This game is full of mysteries. It is aptly named. Of course, the immediate threat of getting hit by a poison herb is being slowed down, but it also lowers your strength. So if you get hit by several poison herbs in a row from ghost radishes early on, it's a pretty big handicap. It's basically removing 1 point of your attack every time you get hit. Oh, big landmine trap. Fortunately, I saved a restorative herb. If you notice, I don't use restorative and medicinal herbs immediately like I would in Table Mountain because of the possibility of hitting a big landmine trap like that. Alright, I got tons of poison herbs. Oh, I did not mean to eat that herb. Oh, Doofy, press down. When Shiren played baseball as a kid, sometimes he would get so nervous that he would just swallow the ball. Those things hurt coming out too. Last attempt, we made it to floor 6, so I think if I'm careful, I can at least beat that record. But that should be your goal every time you go through a bonus dungeon. You know, you don't really have to beat it the first time you try. Just try to make it a little farther every time, and eventually you'll make it all the way through. I really wish I found a shield, though. I don't like running around with snakies when I have no shield, because this guy could kill me in 2 hits. I said last episode, if you're having trouble in Bufu's cave or Scroll Cave, you can level up before you come in. Another thing you can do, besides leveling up, is increase your max fullness. So if you just chow down on a bunch of rice balls and get your max fullness up to the, whatever, 200%, then you really don't even have to worry about starving to death. I like to think of Table Mountain as high school and Bufu's Cave as college, so if you want to enter with some AP rice ball credits to make it easy, that's okay. Last episode I talked about the importance of a monster design being unique, not only in the appearance, so of course it should look different than the other monsters, but also in abilities. It should have a unique role in the game. And I also talked about the importance of a monster being promiscuous, of having promiscuous skills, having abilities that combine in interesting ways with the abilities of the other monsters. This episode, I'm going to go over the final quality of good monster design, and it is the most important. As usual, I am building up to the most important. And it's the one you usually save for the end, because you can tinker with it pretty easily. The final quality of good monster design is that it is funny, but fair. And if you notice, whenever I go over these qualities, I'm giving them to you in pairs because they're kind of on a continuum. A lot of modern monster designs drift too far to one end or the other. Fair, obviously, it means game balance. It should be balanced. There shouldn't be a monster that's so powerful that you have absolutely no chance against it. In Shiren 3 for the Wii, there is a leveled up Lilac or gaze that can hypnotize you from anywhere in the room. It doesn't even need a direct line of sight. You just have to be in the same room as it. That is not fair. You know, when you walk into a room and, oh my gosh, I did it again. Doofy, it's not that complicated. Good herb eat, bad herb throw. But yeah, you want your monster to be fair, but also funny. There are so many games these days that have no sense of humor. They take themselves so seriously. Oh, Assassin's Creed, Halo, they have this like really epic mythology you're supposed to be super invested in. And it just makes me laugh because games are inherently silly. At least the games that I like, the games that are full of liberation and give the player a lot of freedom. Because the more freedom you give the player, the sillier the game becomes because the player is going to push the engine and do ridiculous things. A lot of developers nowadays want to make serious emotional games so badly that they end up overproducing the game. They make extremely long cutscenes, 10, 15, 20 minutes. They put the player on rails. They limit their range of actions, and that's the wrong direction to go in gaming. You're destroying everything that makes gaming unique as a medium. The best way to go as a developer is to give your players more control and just embrace the chaos, the silliness, the goofiness. Shiren is a goofy game. Ridiculous things happen. And that's baked into the design. The developers made the game silly on purpose. Getting turned into a rice ball with eyes is ridiculous. Getting hypnotized by a lilac and throwing all your items away is funny. And now that I've had a week to recover from my wounds, walking around the corner and getting one-hitted by a giant purple dragon head and just dying was funny. It was funny. The end of that last run, I was so overconfident. I was like, oh, I'm going to fight this rice stranger and get my maximum fullness up. I thought, there's no monster on this floor that could possibly hurt me. And I just walk around the corner and get one-hitted by a dragon head. That's funny in a Bambi versus Godzilla kind of way. Now, is there a place for serious games like Last of Us or Gone Home? Of course, I'm not trying to put boundaries on creation. But the funniest moments in gaming happen when you give the player freedom and you let them be goofy. Even in an RPG, the fact that when you're in a party and there are like 2 or 3 people following you at a fixed distance when you run around the town, that's hilarious. Even the idea of running around a town is silly. Who runs around a town with their friends behind them in a perfectly spaced line? It just makes me laugh. Who hasn't run around in a circle chasing the last person in their party so it looks like everybody's running around in a circle going nowhere in an RPG? Everybody's done that just to be goofy. And it's funny and it's okay. It's not realistic at all. But I think games need to embrace that kind of ridiculousness. Alright, I'll get off my soapbox. Now I made it to floor 6. This is where I died last time. So if I can just make it through this floor, I will have beaten my previous record. I slowed down that rice changer so I could make some rice balls if I want to. It's always a little bit dangerous to make rice balls, especially when you have no shield, because when you have no shield, rice changers do a decent amount of damage. And sometimes I'll get so obsessed. Yeah, he's coming in. Alright, I'm going to try, but I want to get so obsessed with making a lot of rice balls that I forget to pay attention to my health. And I let the rice changer get me so low in HP that another monster can kill me easily, or even the rice changer kills me. Alright, rice changer. Let's see if you got... Oh no. As usual, again, whoever programmed the rice changer is a genius. When you want them to rice ball you, they... finally. Come on, one more. All I want is one more rice ball, please. All that for one lousy rice ball. Well, at least I got another manly man purse. What shall I name this one? Speaking of humor, I wish all games let you rename all the items. Don't want to name it a man purse again. Something even more masculine than that. How about the purse of destruction? No. That's a foreshadowing to a scroll we will find later on. Behold the purse of Hades! No one will dare steal my purse of Hades, for it will curse you with the eternal flames of the underworld. Actually, I think Shiren borrowed the purse of Hades from Persephone. She got it at the Coach store at the Great Mall of Hell. I think my personal hell probably is a shopping mall, full of nothing but Coach shops and Sephora's and Buffalo Wild Wings, Apple stores. When I was a kid, the mall was heaven because, of course, when I was a kid, every mall had a video arcade, usually right next to the movie theater. But, alas, home video consoles killed the video game arcade. I still have dreams sometimes when I'm in a mall and I find the arcade and I find all these quarters on the ground. Quarters are a magical coin for me, thanks to arcades. Every quarter is like a golden ticket to another dimension. So whenever I touch a quarter, even now as an adult, I still feel that old arcade magic. Alright, enough nostalgia. I'm gonna let this Dead Soldier level up the Rice Changer to a Rice Boss, and I'll go ahead and throw my Rice Ball at it. Every Rice Ball does 100 damage to the Rice Changer family. So even a Rotten Rice Ball can basically one hit a Rice Boss or even a Rice Master. For beaucoup d'expérience. I am 3 levels above. I'm looking good. Oh, now I'm looking not so good. I just threw away my Rice Ball, so these low poly dancers can actually get me in a dangerous situation if they lower my fullness level enough. I think I'm gonna have to waste my meat maker. Make a little bit of meat. Yep. I'm not gonna risk trying to slow him down and missing. That's just not gonna be good enough. I was really wanting to save this meat maker too for some more worthy meat. Here in Bufu's Cave, we're getting introduced to more variety in the runs. Table Mountain in this remake is very tightly controlled, as I said. The items you come across and the monsters you encounter are fairly regular, so I can beat almost every run in Table Mountain because I know what I'm going to run into. In Bufu's Cave, some runs are going to be a lot easier than others. There are going to be runs when you find a shield, there are going to be runs where you find a ton of Bufu staffs early on in the run, or a shop. So that's preparing you a little bit for the rigors of Faye's final puzzle. As you play Shiren more and more, you'll start to recognize the different templates that generate the floors. A lot of times this template, the large room with 6 smaller rooms coming off like little insect legs, has a shop in one of the little rooms. So hopefully this upper left room will have a shop. Nope, no shop. Alright, it looks like this floor is done, and this will be a good time to end the episode. Didn't even have time to start fixing the Chintala design. We will do that definitely next episode on Shiren the Wanderer. You want to know why I stopped gaming? My friend was a gamer and a fiend, and one night he played Shiren much longer than usual. I told him to get a life, to improve himself. He didn't like that, not one bit. So, me watching, he pulls the card out, the DS still running. He snaps it in half, and he says, "Behold the purse of Hades!"